I mean, let's be honest here. Chainlink has a monopoly on it at the end of the day, right? I mean, the only other project that you could really name off the top of your head that is relevant in Oracle would be Pith because it's new and it's on Solana.
Thank you so much, my friend, of mentioning Pith, because that's where we're going with this whole thing. Is Pith. How so? Can we just jump into the next part, my friend? Is that cool? Should we just do it? Let's do it. Rob mentioned Pith.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Rob mentioned Pith. Check this out for a second. Okay? I'll keep track of when he comes back. I want to share you guys this real quick. So before we get into the whole thing of Pith, I'm not gonna make an epiphany, right? Epiphany. Let's pull this up. So to elaborate a little bit more on, like, even with what Nick and Cash was talking about and so on. Look at this for a second. If there's your thing, really, you gotta pay attention to this. So on the 28th, Hedera posted this. I think it's really, really worth pointing out. Come out of the frame on this one. States straight from CryptoX. We are excited to announce the leading digital asset trust and security company, BitGo, has joined Hedera Council, bringing with it over a decade of experience in Web3 to support innovations and invest in the future success of the Hedera network. Now, here's the key thing. Hedera obviously has a super impressive governing council. We know that. It's like the most impressive one out there. But you have to keep in mind, back to what Dr. Lehman Baird was mentioning in the interview, and that is this whole thing of data protection. I know it's not just about JASMY, but in regards to Hedera's stance on data protection, security, creating the internet of trust, right? Like we always talk about, with GV, Gilbert Verdin of Quant. But the future success, what does it rely upon? Who's going to help them get to there? And especially when it comes to the Hedera network. There is a thread about this, and I did decide, we got to get into some of this stuff. So let's full screen it again. Look at this. It mentions about institutional clients with over 1,500, by the way, globally across 50 nations. BitGo, if you wonder who they are, like it says, they provide the most secure and scalable solutions for the digital asset economy, offering regulated custody, borrowing, and lending, founded by this guy who is Mike Belshia, I can't pronounce that right. But yeah, they see significant future product opportunities for the context of real world tokenization. Again, back to Larry Fink's comments and so on. Settlement, payment verticals with Hedera. At this point, we look forward to seeing how this new partnership with BitGo brings value to the Hedera ecosystem and Web3 as a whole through our collaborative and continuing effort to deliver real-world value to users, enterprise, institutions using DLT, right? Because we know that when it comes to the Hedera hash graph, they're not a blockchain. They're a hash graph consensus protocol, right? It's a form of a DLT. Now, remember when you heard me mention this whole thing about specifically, hold on a second, let me pull this up. Yeah, Pith. Remember, you heard Rob mention Pith? Look at this. 2 days before this report, and this is where also, Nick and Cash talked about it. Did a really good job. Says oracles are now here with Pith Network. Back to what Rob was talking about. If you don't know what Pith Network is, again, you can follow him if you choose to do so. Huge following. Your takeaway is what it says. Largest first-party Oracle network, 100 plus data providers, 300 plus dApps integrations, 450 plus price fields, 50 plus supported change. When we talk about our plugs or connectors and so on, Pith helps get the job done for Hedera. But why specifically them? Why put so much emphasis on them? Well, let's take you there. It says Pith's innovative tech stack is a countermeasure to bad data offering. Back to what Lehman Baird said in the interview with Zenobia, offering a confidence interview measure to indicate volatility, divergence across markets. This can better inform lending and derivative protocols about unusual market events to keep users safe. Now, let's take a pause on that for a second. and I'm going to include Rob on this. So you came back at the right point, my friend. Okay. So based off of this report, Rob, okay, if you have something, let's go ahead and share it once again, just in case you just came in and saw this. This is back to what we talking about Pith. What a name. So it says, I'll just repeat this again. To make a better informed lending and derivatives protocol about unusual market events to keep users safe. Now, what do we know that's going on in the world as we speak? ETFs. And a lot of those users have no idea about crypto. They probably never heard of Hedera, but they have probably heard of what, Rob? Bitcoin, right? BTC, and so on. And, they're all new to this whole thing. If you have a platform that's going to keep those users safe, I think you have a case where Hedera will work with the whole concept of ETFs and so on. Now, even though Hedera is not a spot, hey, you're buying HBAR spot ETF or whatever, right? No. But it's the mechanism of the utility to keep these investors safe that come in off of the ship, if you will, of an ETF. Your thoughts?
Well, that's exactly it. We're not talking about Hedera ETFs in itself. We're talking about the utility of it to keep security in these people safe, right? And when it comes to that, we're definitely looking at institutional money, bigger money, hedge fund money, whatever you want to label it. We're talking about people who only invest their big money when they know that it is secure and safe, right? So having that extra layer, having that security is definitely going to do nothing but be huge, not only for HBAR, but for the entire crypto space.
Yeah, a win for HBAR is a win for crypto space. Like, if I want everybody to know that it's like, even if you don't hold HBAR, you want to root for Hedera. Like back in the day, it's like, some people are like, oh, I don't hold Ripple's XRP, but you understanding that a Ripple win against the SEC is a win for crypto. There's just ones you do want to root for. That just makes sense. So when you see stuff like this, I thought to myself, wow, this is a big deal. I'm glad that you kind of know about, Pith, and shout out to Mike Cornwell about talking about this. There's more to it than just this. We're going to pull this up as well. We'll get some of Rob's thoughts on some of this on top of that. I think this is a good outline tonight. What about for developers, right? Is there any incentives in regards to developers? Well, of course there is. If you're a developer looking to leverage the Pith network Oracle on Hedera, you can start here. Oracle on Hedera. Again, think about what I just said. Oracle on Hedera. Now, everything we just talked about, is there any solid information in regards to ETFs, or is it just old Mac's opinion and Rob's opinion? What do we know? Check this out. This will solidify it. Straight from where? From docs.hedera.com. You can look it up for yourself. What is Pith? Pith is a first-party financial oracle network designed to provide low latency real-world data, back to what Lehman McBaer was talking about at the beginning of the outline with Zenobia, to multiple blockchains securely and transparently. Pith currently supports 400 plus real-time price feeds across crypto, equities, and oh yeah, boil it, mash it, stick it, and stew. That's something I say, by the way. Right? ETFs, FX pairs, and commodities. It has facilitated more than 100 billion, a billion. Enter in Dr. Evil, where he was at, right? In total trading volume across over 50 blockchain ecosystems. My God. Wow. Pith is huge. Absolutely huge. When you see that, I mean,
Yeah, I
my
actually,
God.
quick little plug there. I actually, I do a microcap thing for my members over on my channel, and Pith, when they first launched, was one of those projects that we looked into like as they were launching, and it was like, guys, this is one that you're gonna want to get into, definitely. I know a lot of people are saying that when they came out, they're going to compete with Chainlink. A lot of people laughed at it, but at the end of the day, are they going to pass Chainlink and market cap and stuff like that, and collaborations and partnerships right off the bat? Absolutely not. But they're definitely going to start to take market share away from Chainlink, and to go into HBAR as well. Guys, these companies are making moves. Like they just partnered last month or the month before with Algorand. They just announced a partnership in Saudi Arabia, I believe, as well.
Right.
Not
Yes,
to take,
absolutely. Yeah.
but like, holy crap, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, like we're seeing a lot of stuff like in the height of crypto winter. I remember it was like a big deal if you were able to cover like things like Stellar once a month, right? Everybody's hungry for more Stellar news. And it was like even with Hedera, maybe once a week and stuff like that. Now you're seeing like Hedera's killing it, man, like almost daily with the news updates. Here's what they're doing, we got this going on. And it's just like you appreciate, at least I do, that these guys built during the height of the crypto winter when everybody's flooding this stuff. It's like, guys, you don't understand it. Things have to be put into emotion. You have to build something, kind of like Field of Dreams. I hate to use that analogy. It's an analogy. If you build it, they will come. And then after that, what happens after it's built? Then what do you do? Where do you go from there? Pith is where you go from there. All right, real quick, Rob, I want to point this out. It's just kind of like some of my other notes, if you will. So we talked about this whole thing about Chainlink. Okay. So obviously, Chainlink King of Oracles. I'm personally invested into Chainlink. I recognize it's big. I might not do a Chainlink video all the time, but I do recognize that like it's been big. I mean, like shoot, man, I came into Chainlink, I think at like $6. I wanted to come in at like 5, but I came in like right around 6. So that right there, I mean, it's like cool, not too shabby. It's just like close to 4 or 5x, not bad, right? A lot of people have done well with Chainlink. But you guys always got to keep in mind, Chainlink is indeed a major player, of course, in the Oracle space. This is why they get the title of King of Oracles. But this whole thing of Pith, if you're new to this whole thing, please have this as your takeaway tonight. Pith's integration with Hedera. Why is it so significant? Well, that development is significant for a few reasons. How many specific reasons? I'm gonna give you about roughly 5. I know sometimes people don't want me to do more than 3. You got to have the 5. Listen to this. So with Pith, it's going to allow for more data for DeFi apps. Back to what Lehman Baird was talking about in regards to AI. Don't forget about that part. Because Hedera developers, like it mentioned on that particular documents page, now have access to a vast amount of real-time financial data through what, guys? Pith's 400 plus price feeds. My God. This allows them to build more complex and reliable decentralized finance, aka DeFi applications on Hedera. This is one of the most significant partnerships, or what we call it, collaborations, bringing them into the governing council. My God. But listen to this. It's also going to improve the accuracy and security of what Hedera is trying to do. Back to what Lehman Baird was talking about. His focus on secure and transparent data delivery, I should say, adds another layer of trust to Hedera's DeFi ecosystem. Developers can be confident they are using accurate, up-to-date data for their smart contracts. Again, back to the whole thing of a retail investor came in through an ETF. They want some kind of mechanism through the utility of Hedera that they're not going to get wrecked. Back to what Lehman Baird said, we have these things in motion so it protects new users, old investors, you name it, whoever, right? So what about faster transactions? Because we're now going to have up-to-date data for smart contracts, right? So faster transactions. If it wasn't fast enough as is, I mean, I know this is not like BSV, a million plus TPS, but hear me out. You're going to see low latency nature of Pith's data feeds and how it's crucial to the whole thing of DeFi applications, right? Those dApps. Timely price updates, back to the person that is new to crypto, right? It's crucial to understand that it's going to ensure them, us, and everybody, for that matter, smoother and more efficient on-chain transactions and, of course, settlements. That's a win. Well, potential for wider adoption. This is what gets me excited because we can talk about all the nerd talk all we want. Is this the key to mass adoption? It is. Here's why. By offering a wider range of financial data in a potentially more secure alternative, right? Pith's integration with Hedera could attract more developers and users to what, guys? The Hedera ecosystem. It's a big, huge win. And I feel as though personally that's going to lead to increased adoption and growth for Hedera in the long run. Now, finally, this part. And I do want to get Rob's take on this because we did mention Chainlink, and I know that opens up a whole can of worms, but hear me out. In conclusion, what about real, true competition with Chainlink? Now, that's a stretch. I'm not saying that Hedera is going to do everything that Chainlink is doing. But as we know, if they can get a piece of that pie, that's big in itself. So While Chainlink, guys, remains a major player, which it is, his presence offers developers on Hedera, guess what, guys? Another option. And what option could that be? Well, it's the competition to potentially drive innovation and better pricing in the Oracle space. At the end of the day, for one to monopolize doesn't really create the whole thing of proper competition in this Oracle space. For the likes of Stellar coming into the mix, recognizing that we will be able to compete now with Chainlink, right? Because we also provide an Oracle solution. You now have three major players sitting at the table. You have Chainlink, you have Hedera, Stellar. So overall, Pith's integration with Hedera is truly a strategic move that strengthens the Hedera's DeFi capabilities and positions them as an industry player, leader for the future growth of the whole network. It provides developers with the tools they need, which, let's face it, they need all the SDKs they need. And they can also build a robust and secure DeFi applications, aka dApps, potentially leading to wider adoption of the Hedera network. But again, back to what me and Rob were talking about, it's a win for crypto. Even if you're not the type of person, you're like, you know, I'm not into Hedera. It's okay. It's a win for crypto, and that's always a good thing.
I agree, and again, it goes back. I go back to when Pith first launched, and they were saying that it's not going to compete with Chainlink. Make no mistake about it. When it comes to Chainlink and everything, or sorry, Pith. When it comes to Pith and everything that they're doing, um, neck and neck with Chainlink in the future. I'm calling it now. I'm shooting my shot, brother. Neck and neck. Maybe not this bull. Definitely not this bull run, but maybe in the next one, the one after that. If you're sleeping on Pith, I mean, the partnerships and collaborations that they've been doing, been announcing just since they launched, right? It's just like a small sample size compared to imagine what's going to happen over the next couple of years with this Oracle, right? Now, again, they're partnering with companies like Hbar, working with Hbar now. And the same goes for Hbar as a layer one, guys. Like, a lot of people were saying, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, Hbar, it's old tech now because it's a new market cycle and stuff like that." Man, I really hope a lot of you guys were not sleeping on these two projects because massive, massive things in the future. Like I said, Pith has never even seen a bull run before. Put that into perspective for you, right? And I think that Hbar probably could have performed a little bit better in the last bull run. Again, with these partnerships, the companies that are developing, creating collaborations, and expanding, growing through bear markets are the companies that you want to be looking into, doing your research into, and investing into, because the ones that end up underperforming are the ones that didn't do shit in the pardon my French, but didn't do
That's okay.
nothing in the bear market, right? And that's really one of the things you got to pay attention to. So yeah, I mean, I hold both of these projects, so maybe I'm biased. I don't know, but I research my projects that I'm buying into, and big things, man. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for both, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot more announcements through the rest of this year for both Hbar and Pith. Again, like I said, I go back to Algorand, which is another one of my favorite projects, partnering up with Hbar, collaborating with Hbar there too. Hbar expanding into Saudi Arabia. It just doesn't stop.